Welcome to Magick Moonlog. I am your host, Dawn Marie Franzen, and this is a weekly series looking at the astrological forecast. So sit back and relax, and let's see what the moon and stars will bring us. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Magick Moonlog. Yes, I know I have not been on here in a couple of weeks. I think with the holiday, the long July 4th weekend and everything, and time just got away from me. I do record days before the episodes get published. But when I was gonna go ahead and do it, time just got away from me. I got busy doing other things, and yeah, it's just life, right? Life just went on. And last week, the same thing, just time got away from me. I find myself really busy lately, and summertime, right? So that's what happens. But anyway, we're here today, and there is one thing that I really want to talk about. And it's something that's been really upsetting me. And I don't really like to go into politics, okay? But this I feel really strongly about. Now, whether you are Democrat, Republican, independent, whatever the case may be, whether you don't just give a crap, whatever the case may be. Donald Trump got shot during a rally in Pennsylvania. There was a sniper on the roof, and he tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Now, whether or not you like the man is besides the point, okay? The point is, somebody shot at him, it nicked his ear, he went down, it was a horrifying event, right? And I'm glad he's okay. What horrifies me is the lack of humanity that people have been showing. A lot of people who are against him wished he were dead. They've been making jokes about, oh, maybe one more inch closer, or you shouldn't have missed, or man, we were almost, we almost had it. We almost got rid of Donald Trump. You know what? That is very inhuman. And it is anti-American. And that's not who we are as people. I'm just putting that out there. I am horrified by all the nasty, inappropriate, unsympathetic comments that have been made due to this. Whether or not you like the man, you should not wish him dead. Okay? Just don't vote for him if you don't want him as our president. Okay? There are people out there that I don't like. I don't wish them dead because I'm a human being. I might not want them around. I might not want them in my life. You know what I mean? I might not want them as a leader or, whatever the case may be. I certainly don't wish death upon anybody. That is inhuman and anti-American. And say what you will about it, whatever. I'm not going to argue about this with anybody. I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there because this has been really upsetting me. I don't care who it was, but somebody got shot at. It doesn't matter who it was. This should not have happened. And not only that, but how insensitive for these people to be joking about it when a man did die because of it. A father, a husband died because of that shooter. It's not okay. All right, there was my soapbox. So, whether you agree with me or not on this matter, I don't care. I mean, I do care, because I feel like no one should ever wish anybody dead, no matter how much you don't like them. Just don't have them in your life, whatever. Okay? I don't want anybody to be making nasty comments about this. I'm not trying to debate. I will not reply back. Okay? If you try to debate me on this, I just give him my 2 cents. I think it's horrible. And that's that. All right. So, on a more lighter note, because this is what this is all about. And let me just say, I really don't like having negativity. I certainly don't want it on my show. Okay? And this is not what this is about. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm responding to the negativity that is happening in our country because of this. That's what I'm responding to. Stop the negativity. Just stop. We are Americans, we are people, we are humans. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what side of the political fence you're on. I don't care what gender you are or your sexual preference. We're people, right? And that's what it's about. Okay, now let's move on. So, let's get on with our Astrocast for July 20 to 26. So on Saturday, the 20th, the Moon and Jupiter quincunx at 1:29 a.m. At 11:17, Mars and Neptune sextile. The Moon sextiles Saturn at 1:15 p.m. Mars enters Gemini at 4:43. At 6:17 a.m. Sunday, July 21, the Moon is in conjunction with the Sun and is full at 29 degrees Capricorn. Now, this full moon is called the buck moon, and its name derives from a buck getting his new antlers, okay? He's growing those new antlers around this time of year. And after this full moon, we will have 4 consecutive supermoons. So that's going to be exciting. And we're not going to talk about that this episode, but we will certainly talk about it when the first supermoon comes out, okay? So, let's move on from that. The Moon sextiles Neptune at 7:26 and is void, of course, until 7:43 when it enters Aquarius. The Moon and Mercury quincunx at 12:42. At 1:53, the Moon and Uranus trine. The Moon and Pluto are in conjunction at 9:14. Venus sextiles Jupiter at 4:43 p.m. At 6:21, Mercury and Uranus square off. At 11:25, the Sun and Neptune trine. And Mars trines Pluto at 11:48. So on Monday, July 22nd, happy birthday, Leo. All right, so here we go with the Leo correspondences. Leo is a masculine sign and is ruled by the Sun. It is a fixed sign. They are loyal and expressive, but can also be a little too proud. And I know a lot of Leos. I have a lot of Leos in my life, and yes, they can be. Leo rules the 5th house. The element is fire, and the colors are orange and gold, just like fire, right? All right, so moving on from that, the Moon and Jupiter trine at 4:43 a.m. At 5:39, the Moon and Venus are in opposition. At 1:38 a.m. Tuesday, the Sun and Pluto are in opposition. The Moon squares off with Uranus at 3:47. the moon is in opposition with Mercury at 5:58 and is void, of course, until 9:23 when it enters Pisces. At 11:27, the moon and sun quincunx. At 12:36 p.m., the moon and Mars square off. At 6:47 a.m. Wednesday, the moon squares Jupiter. At 11:36, the moon and Venus quincunx. At 4:31 p.m., the moon and Saturn are in conjunction. At 5:19 a.m. Thursday, the moon and Uranus sextile. The moon and Mercury quincunx at 10:26. And I don't know if you could hear that, but my neck just cracked a couple of times. The moon is in conjunction with Neptune at 10:31 and is void until 10:52 when it enters Aries. Mercury and Neptune quincunx at 12 p.m. At 12:13, the moon sextiles Pluto. The moon trines the sun at 4:29. At 4:36, the moon sextiles Mars. Mercury enters Virgo at 6:42. At 10:32, the sun and Mars sextile. On Friday, the moon and Jupiter sextile at 9:16 a.m. and is void until 1:23 p.m. Saturday when it enters Taurus. Meanwhile, Venus and Saturn quincunx on Friday at 8:07. Mercury and Pluto quincunx at 8:49. All right, what does it all mean, right? So, I have a lot of notes here, so bear with me. So during the weekend, changes can lead to excitement. You may be given some good advice. So when Mars is in Gemini, be careful of gossiping. You may be turned on mentally. Multitasking can become easy, and you may experience intelligent conversation and lots of kissing. Also, try to balance your thinking and emotions. You may influence others. You may work hard for little gain. Use your intuition. Harmony comes into play. You may feel lighthearted. Try not to worry about things. Clear away any clutter in your life. So during the beginning of the week, celebrate Leos, right? You may be overly optimistic. You may use unwise actions. Use your quick mind. Be sure to handle routine work and details. Emotional thinking may be apparent. During midweek, you might do things in excess. Be responsible, be original, and you may experience sensitive emotions. Towards the end of the week, you may experience intense feelings and excitement. And when Mercury is in Virgo, you may have incredible focus and attention to detail. You may also be full of nervous energy, and cooperation is key. Magick Moonlog is sponsored by Life Changing Energy. They've got yoga outfits and all kinds of other clothing, jewelry, and healing tools. Take an online course. I took my course with Vicki Gold and am now a certified crystal and chakra healer. Please visit lifechangingenergy.com and use the promo code MAGIC7, that's Magick with a K, number 7, for 7% off your purchase. And now back to the show. All right, everyone, let's do the spell of the week. And let's see, it is called Nature Bliss. And it's for July 23, which is Tuesday. And the color of the day is maroon. And the incense of the day is cedar. One of the best things about summer is the plethora of plants growing everywhere. The scent of flowers permeates the air, as well as the scents from flowering trees and herbal gardens. A stroll through your neighborhood or your local botanical garden could do wonders for witchy senses. For at our core, we are nature people. Nature is who we turn to for inspiration, guidance, and creativity. Nature fuels our imagination and connects us to the power of earth. For this spell, you will need a flower, a plant, an herb, or a tree that calls to you. Hold the flower, plant, or herb in your hand. If it is a tree, give it a hug. Breathe in the essence of the plant, flower, herb, or tree. Take a moment to connect with its earth essence. Allow yourself to be one with its earthly goodness. Blessed be. And that is written by Naha Lightfoot. All right, there we go. And now let's do the Everyday Spells card. And just to remind you, we are in love spells, because if you're new to this show, if you're new to this podcast, this is a deck of cards that has like a spell for each day. So they categorize them by certain types of spells. And right now we're in the category of love spells. Okay. So this one is called Love Nectar. You'll need 1 piece of fresh ginger, 1 jar of honey, 1 rose quartz crystal, 1 handful of fresh rose petals, and 2 red candles. Use this spell to invite love and sweetness into your life. Cut the ginger in half and add to the honey jar. Next, add the crystal. Sprinkle the rose petals around the jar and light the candles on either side. Allow both candles to burn fully over 2 nights. You can also eat the honey or use it to sweeten your tea and bring a little love to your life. All right, and as usual, I will put that on the Facebook page. And now let's get to the Oracle. And I am drawing from the Dragon Oracle deck. So as I'm shuffling these cards, let's think about what we want to know for the upcoming week. Let's think about Leos, because it's going to be Leo season. That'll be a good thing to think about. What's going to happen in Leo season? What can we expect? Let's just see what the cards are going to tell us. All right. So I have chosen the White Gold Dragon from Lyra. Okay. And let me look in the book to see where this card is. I know I've mentioned this before. I do have a hard time finding some of these cards in this particular deck. They don't number them on the actual card, and they have different categories of these dragons, so you just have to kind of find the one you're looking for. All right. It's the second to last one in the deck. So page 98. Here we go. White Gold Dragon from Lyra. And it says it connects you to the highest Christ light. And just to remind you again, because I know I've drawn from this deck for you guys before, but if you're new here or maybe you've forgotten, some oracle cards are not exactly based on just strictly paganism or Wicca, okay? It's not just for witches, all right? So anybody can read oracle cards, no matter what religion you practice, no matter what your beliefs are. Most of the time, I would say the majority of the time, it is us witches that are using these types of cards. But where they mention like Christ or sometimes God and everything like that, it could pertain to any kind of religion that believes in that kind of thing, right? So there you go. Christians, anything like that. All right. And the affirmation says, develop your casual chakra, bathe in 9th dimensional Christ light. And here's what the card is about. Lyra is the cross-shaped 12th dimensional stargate through which Archangel Christiel and the unicorns enter our universe. The light from Lyra pours down through the moon, allowing scintillating 7th dimensional dragons to step through into the vibration of Earth. These white gold dragons embody the highest frequency of the Christ light, available to everyone on this planet. They work closely with Archangel Christiel, who is in charge of the development of the casual chakras of humanity. This is particularly important now, as our casual chakra is our connection to the higher dimensions of spirit. The dragons, angels, unicorns, and masters. The white gold dragons from Lyra help to clear and develop our casual chakra and illuminate our highest possible ascension path. And the guidance says, these white gold dragons are attracted to you now because you already carry Christ light in your aura. Ask one to take you to the ninth dimensional pool of Christ's energy held in Lacume. Visualize yourself bathing in the pool, which shimmers and swirls with pure love and light. Feel yourself absorbing all you are ready to receive. When you return, continue to feel the white gold light in your aura and practice pure unconditional love in your daily life. Your aura will radiate the incredibly high frequency of white gold, and the white gold dragon from Lyra will support you by continuing to pour Christ's light into you. Take time to find a quiet, still place where you can listen to its wisdom and guidance. All right, very cool. All right, so before I end this episode, I just want to let you know that I had started another project. And this is by no way, no means reason why I did not produce episodes the last couple of weeks. This has nothing to do with it. So I started another podcast, way off base from what this is, okay? This is for not just pagans, but it's for everybody, okay? And it doesn't even have to do with witchcraft or anything like that. I had this idea, and I got this inspiration from a book I read a long time ago, and I kind of always thought about doing this kind of thing, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute, but I never knew how to really go about it. So I had this idea, why not do a podcast, right? So, okay, before I tell you what the podcast is, I did air a little minute and a half intro episode, all right? So far, it's only gotten one play. And no, it's not from me. It's only gotten one play, but I'm kind of thinking that I have to actually put out more content with it, put out more episodes, but I have to wait. And let me explain so that you guys can understand. So the podcast is called Dear Cupid, okay? And my idea for this podcast is to give out advice for love, relationships, life, career, family, anything like that. So I was thinking that people can send me an email, and please do not email my Witch Magick email for this, because I do have a separate email for it. It's dearcupid@my.yahoo.com or something like that. I will put the link in the show notes in case you want to go, unless you want to email me for some advice, not having to do with witchcraft. I mean, it can have something to do with witchcraft, but just so you know, it's for everything. You know what I mean? Do I consider myself an expert in everything? No, but I am pretty much half a century old. I'm 53, and I've been through a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff, I have family, I have kids. I've been through ups and downs in relationships, and I feel like, I could offer some non-judgmental, non-biased advice. You know what I mean? And make it a little bit fun at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So people will, what's going to happen is that people will email me and ask a question. It could be anything like, Dear Cupid, I just found out that my boyfriend was cheating on me, blah, blah, blah. What can I do? Things like that. And then instead of signing your regular name, give it a funny name. Like, if you remember the Dear Abby columns in the newspaper, people wouldn't write their name. They would write something like Tatted and Torn in Seattle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So something quirky and fun like that. And I plan on, what I really want to do is upload an episode of that podcast at least every 2 weeks, if not every month. It depends on how much correspondence I get. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put out an episode just for one question. Do you know what I'm saying? But also what I plan on doing is, aside from answering, aside from giving out my advice and whatnot, I can also talk about other things that kind of pertain to that. You know what I mean? To that category, whatever it is, whether it's relationships, maybe put out some poetry or read some excerpts from a book, things like that, play part of a song, whatever the case may be. I want to make it fun. I don't want to make it just like, oh, well, yeah, here's your advice, and oh, moving on to the next, here's your advice. I want to make it a little bit fun. I want it to be worthwhile to be listening to. So I'm going to put the link in the show notes, and I will put the link in the description on the YouTube channel as well. So please look into it when you get a moment. Refer friends to it, share it and everything like that, just so I can get some people writing in. And the only other thing that I ask, and I did put this on the little intro as well, is that you don't send me anything inappropriate in the email, because that will get reported and it will get blocked. And I'm not planning on doing any video for that podcast. It's going to be simply audio on the podcast platforms. All right, so it is already available on like Apple, Spotify, and others as well. I just need more content. I need more subscribers and viewers, not viewers, but listeners and everything like that. So if you can help me out, that would be great. Also, don't forget about this show. If you really like this podcast, rate, review, share, like, comment, all of that. Come join the Facebook page. We really love to have you over there. And show the love. All right, everyone. Have a very magical week. If you like this episode or show, please consider going over to Apple or Spotify to give me a rating and review. It will really help with the algorithm of the show. Share with your friends and follow me at Witch Magick on Instagram. You can also join us on the Witch Magick Facebook group. If you would like to support the show even more, you could check out my Patreon and Ko-fi pages and join the tier of your choosing and budget for extra perks, as well as helping me maybe get a cup of tea. Thanks, everyone.